The year was 2387, and the stars had never seemed so close. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Liberty's Edge, watching the distant lights of unknown worlds through the main viewport. His ship cut through the darkness of space like a silver arrow, carrying humanity's hopes and dreams toward their first meeting with alien life. The Galactic Federation had ruled 7 star systems for over 300 years. 4 different alien species worked together to keep peace across their corner of the galaxy. The Valkyrie were the smart ones, always thinking and planning. The Corvin were the fighters, strong and proud of their military power. The Zilani were the talkers, skilled at making deals and solving problems with words. The Threks were the builders, creating amazing machines and structures that lasted for centuries. Each species had found their place in the cosmic order. When problems arose, they would sit down together and work things out. Wars were a thing of the past, replaced by careful talks and written agreements. The Federation had grown comfortable in their routine, never expecting that routine to change. Jake turned to his navigator, Lisa Chang, who was studying the star charts with intense focus. Her fingers danced across the control panel as she made small adjustments to their course. "How much longer until we reach the outer rim?" Jake asked. Lisa looked up from her work. "About 6 hours, Captain." "We're making good time." She paused and smiled. "I still can't believe we're actually doing this. First humans to leave our home system and meet aliens." At the engineering station, Pete Rodriguez was running final checks on the ship's systems. The engines hummed with quiet power, a sound that had become as familiar as breathing during their long journey. "Everything looks good down here," Pete called out. "The new drive system is working perfectly." Amy Clark sat at the communications console, monitoring radio signals from deep space. Her job was to listen for any signs of alien contact. So far the universe had been quiet, but she knew that was about to change. "Still, no incoming signals," she reported. "But we're getting close to where our long-range sensors detected artificial structures." Ryan Brooks, the ship's security chief, stood near the tactical station. His job was to protect the crew if things went wrong. He hoped they wouldn't need his skills, but he was ready just in case. "Weapon systems are powered down as ordered," he said. "We're flying peaceful and showing no hostile intent." Jake nodded with approval. Their mission was exploration and contact, not conquest. Earth had spent decades preparing for this moment, and they were determined to make a good first impression. The last thing humanity wanted was to start an interstellar war on their first day among the stars. Far away in the depths of space, a Valkyrie monitoring station called Nexus 7 detected something unusual. Commander Vethron was finishing his night shift when strange readings appeared on his sensors. At first, he thought it was the equipment malfunction. Nothing unknown ever traveled through Federation space. Vethron was a careful officer who had spent 40 years watching the stars. He had seen meteor showers, broken satellites, and space debris of every kind, but this was different. The object was moving too fast and too straight to be natural. It was clearly artificial, and it was heading directly toward Federation territory. The Valkyrie commander ran the sensor data through his computer 3 times. Each time the results were the same. An unknown vessel was approaching from outside Federation space. This had never happened before in recorded history. With growing concern, Vethron contacted the Federation Council. The emergency communication went out to all 4 species at once. Within minutes, representatives from each world were connecting to the emergency network. Council Speaker Zarathel of the Zilani was the first to respond. Her people were natural diplomats, trained to handle unexpected situations with calm and reason. "Commander Vethron, are you certain about these readings?" she asked. "Yes, Speaker. I have confirmed the data multiple times. There is definitely an unknown vessel approaching our space. It appears to be using some form of faster-than-light travel that we have not seen before." The network crackled as General Crickstar of the Corvin joined the conversation. His voice was hard and suspicious. "Unknown vessel means potential threat. We should send warships to intercept immediately." "Wait," came the voice of Hive Mind Node 7, speaking for the Threks. We should gather more information before taking action. Rushing into conflict without understanding could be dangerous. The Valkyrie representative, Science Director Yulthek, agreed. The threats are correct. We need to study this vessel and learn about its capabilities before we decide how to respond. Back on the Liberty's edge, Jake Morrison was unaware of the debate raging across the Federation. His ship continued its steady approach toward the outer rim, carrying its crew of 5 humans toward their destiny among the stars. "Captain," Amy Clark called out suddenly. "I'm picking up an artificial signal. It's coming from directly ahead of us." Jake moved to her station. "What kind of signal?" "It's mathematical. A sequence of prime numbers, then geometric patterns. Someone is trying to communicate with us." The bridge fell silent as the crew absorbed this information. After years of travel and preparation, they were finally making contact with alien intelligence. Lisa Zhang checked their position. "We're still 3 hours from the coordinates where we expected to find them." "They found us first," Ryan Brooks observed. "Their sensors must be better than we thought." Jake took a deep breath. This was the moment that would change everything for humanity. "Amy, can you decode their message? I'm working on it now. The ship's computer is helping me analyze the patterns." Her fingers flew across the controls as she worked to understand the alien communication. Pete Rodriguez joined them at the communication station. "The signal is incredibly complex. Whoever sent this is very advanced. How long do you think it will take to decode?" Jake asked. Amy looked up from her work. "Give me a few hours. Maybe less if the computer can identify the mathematical foundation they're using." Jake nodded and turned to address his crew. "This is it, everyone. We're about to make first contact with alien civilization. Remember, we represent all of humanity. Let's make our species proud." The Liberty's Edge continued its journey toward the unknown, carrying 5 humans toward a meeting that would change the galaxy forever. Behind them, the Federation was preparing for the arrival of something they had never encountered before. The peaceful order of 3 centuries was about to be challenged by the arrival of humans. 3 hours had passed since Amy Clark first detected the alien signal. The Liberty's Edge now floated in space near a massive Federation monitoring station. The structure was unlike anything humans had ever seen, with curved metal surfaces that seemed to flow like water and lights that pulsed in strange patterns. Jake Morrison stood at the main viewport, watching a small alien shuttle approach his ship. Inside that shuttle was Federation First Contact Specialist Yolandra of the Zelani, along with 2 other aliens from different species. This would be the first time humans had ever met beings from another world. "Docking complete," reported Lisa Chang from her navigation station. "The alien shuttle is secure in Bay 2. Amy Clark had successfully decoded the mathematical message hours earlier. The aliens had been impressed by how quickly humans understood their communication. Most species took days or weeks to figure out the complex patterns. The humans had done it in just a few hours. "Captain," said Ryan Brooks, "should I escort our guests to the meeting room?" Jake nodded. "Yes, but remember, we want to appear friendly but not weak. These aliens need to see that humans are capable people." Pete Rodriguez was still amazed by what he had learned about the alien shuttle. "Captain, you should see their technology. The shuttle's engines work on principles we've never seen before, and their metal is stronger than anything we can make." The meeting room had been prepared with seats that could adjust to different body types. Nobody knew what the aliens would look like, so the crew had tried to make the space comfortable for any possible visitors. The doors opened and Ryan Brooks entered first, followed by 3 alien beings. The humans tried not to stare, but it was impossible not to be curious about their first alien contact. Yolandra was tall and thin, with pale blue skin and large eyes that seemed to see everything at once. Her movements were graceful and careful, like a dancer. She wore a simple robe that changed colors as she moved. Behind her came a Valkyrie scientist named Kethmore. He was shorter than Yolandra, but had the same blue skin. His head was larger than the humans, clearly built for a big brain. He carried a small device that beeped and flashed as he scanned the room. The third alien was Threx Drone Unit 15, a member of the hive mind species. It looked more like a machine than a living creature, with metal parts mixed into its body. Its voice came from a speaker in its chest, and it spoke for the collective thoughts of its entire species. "Welcome aboard the Liberty's Edge," said Jake Morrison, trying to keep his voice calm and friendly. "I am Captain Jake Morrison, and this is my crew." Yolandra stepped forward and made a gesture that might have been a bow. "I am Yolandra of the Zolani. We are honored to meet the first representatives of your species. We have many questions about your people and your world." The formal introductions took several minutes. Each human crew member was presented to the aliens, who seemed very interested in learning about human roles and responsibilities. The aliens were surprised that humans work so well together without a central controlling authority. "Your ship is remarkable," said Kethmore, studying his scanning device. "The technology is unlike anything in our databases. How did you develop faster-than-light travel?" Pete Rodriguez smiled with pride. "We studied the basic principles of space and time, then found ways to bend the rules. Our engineers worked for decades to perfect the design." "Most impressive," said Threx Drone Unit 15. "The Threx Collective has analyzed your vessel's construction. You have combined techniques from multiple engineering traditions in ways we had not considered." Amy Clark showed the aliens their communication systems. "We can talk to ships across many light years using quantum entanglement. Each message travels instantly, no matter how far apart we are." The aliens looked at each other with what seemed like concern. Yolandra spoke carefully. "Such technology usually requires many centuries to develop. How long has your species been traveling in space?" "Only about 200 years, replied Lisa Shang. "We went from our first flight to interstellar travel in just 2 centuries. This information clearly troubled the aliens. Kethmore made notes on his device while Threx Drone Unit 15 communicated silently with its hive mind. The rapid pace of human development was unlike anything they had seen before. "Tell us about your world," requested Yolandra. "What is your society like?" Jake Morrison thought carefully about how to explain humanity. "We are a young species, but we learn quickly. We have had many wars in our history, but we have also learned to work together when facing big challenges." "Wars?" asked Kethmore with obvious concern. "Your people fight among themselves?" "We used to," admitted Ryan Brooks. "But we learned that cooperation is better than conflict. Now we work together to explore the galaxy and meet new friends." The aliens spent hours learning about human culture, technology, and history. They were fascinated by human creativity and the speed at which humans could adapt to new situations. Every question they asked revealed more about humanity's unique abilities. Pete Rodriguez gave them a tour of the engine room, explaining how human technology worked. The aliens were amazed by the innovative solutions humans had developed. Many of their techniques were completely new to Federation science. "Your people think differently than we do," observed Yolandra. "You approach problems from angles we would never consider. This could be very valuable to the Federation." Lisa Chang demonstrated their navigation systems, showing how humans could plot courses through dangerous space using techniques that combine mathematics with intuition. The aliens had never seen such creative problem-solving as the day continued. The aliens began to understand that humans were not just another species seeking to join the Federation. They were something entirely new with capabilities that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. "We must report to the Federation Council," said Kethmore. "They will want to know about your remarkable abilities. Are we in trouble?" asked Amy Clark. "Not trouble," replied Yolandra. "But your arrival will certainly cause much discussion. The Federation has never encountered a species quite like humanity." The aliens prepared to return to their shuttle, carrying with them detailed reports about human technology and culture. Jake Morrison knew that this was just the beginning. The real test would come when the Federation Council decided what to do about the arrival of humans. As the alien shuttle departed, the crew of the Liberty's Edge watched it disappear into the stars. They had successfully made first contact, but Jake Morrison suspected that their biggest challenges still lay ahead. The Federation Council had been meeting for 3 days straight. Representatives from all four species gathered in the great chamber aboard the space station. Harmony's rest. The reports about human capabilities had caused heated arguments among the alien leaders. General Krikstar of the Corvin stood at the center of the chamber, his red armor gleaming under the bright lights. His species valued strength above all else, and he was not convinced that humans were as peaceful as they claimed to be. "These humans are dangerous," Krikstar declared, his voice echoing through the chamber. "They have advanced technology and claim to be warriors. We must test their true intentions before we allow them deeper into Federation space." Council Speaker Zarathil raised her hand for silence. "The humans have shown only peaceful behavior. They answered our communications quickly and allowed our representatives aboard their ship without hesitation." "Words mean nothing, Krikstar," replied "Action reveals truth." "I demand we test their military capabilities according to standard Federation protocol." Science Director Yulthek of the Valkyrie spoke up. "The Corvin General may be right. We need to understand what these humans can do in combat situations. Their technology is unlike anything we have seen." Threx Hivemind Node 12 added its voice to the discussion. The collective agrees. Testing is necessary for proper evaluation. We must know if humans pose a threat to Federation security. Back on the Liberty's Edge, Jake Morrison received the Federation's official message. He read it carefully, then called his crew together in the main meeting room. "They want to test our military abilities," Jake announced. "It's some kind of standard procedure for new species. We'll be facing their fighters in combat trials." "Ryan." Brooks crossed his arms. "What kind of combat trials?" "Space battles and ground combat simulations." "They want to see how we fight." Pete Rodriguez looked worried. "Captain, we came here in peace. Do we really need to prove ourselves in battle?" "I don't like it either," Jake admitted. "But if we refuse, they might think we're hiding something or that we're too weak to be useful allies." Lisa Chang studied the message details. "The trials will take place in the Kepler asteroid field. It's a training ground they use for military exercises." Amy Clark had been monitoring Federation communications. "From what I can hear, this General Krikstar is pushing hard for these tests. He doesn't trust us." "Then we'll have to show him what humans can do," said Ryan Brooks. "But we do it our way." 3 days later, the Liberty's Edge arrived at the Kepler asteroid field. The area was filled with floating rocks of all sizes, some as small as houses and others as large as cities. It was a dangerous place to fly, which made it perfect for testing pilot skills. A Federation observation ship waited nearby, filled with alien officials who had come to watch the trials. General Krikstar was aboard, along with representatives from all four species. The first test was a space battle simulation. Human pilot Danny Walsh climbed into his fighter craft, a sleek ship designed for speed and maneuverability. He would face 3 Corvin fighters in separate battles. "Remember," Jake Morrison told Danny over the radio, "we're not trying to start a war. But we need to show them that humans are not easy targets." Danny's fighter launched from the Liberty's Edge and moved toward the asteroid field. The first Corvin fighter was already waiting, its weapons powered up and ready for combat. The battle began immediately. The Corvin pilot used standard tactics, trying to get behind Danny's ship for a clear shot. But Danny did something unexpected. Instead of trying to outrun his opponent, he flew directly toward a large asteroid dot at the last second. Danny pulled his ship into a sharp turn, using the asteroid's gravity to slingshot around it. The Corvin fighter, following too closely, crashed into the rock and was destroyed in the simulation. "Impressive," muttered General Krikstar from the observation ship. "But that was just luck." The second battle was more challenging. The Corvin pilot had watched Danny's first fight and was ready for unusual tactics. This time, Danny found himself dodged between asteroids. While laser fire lit up the space around him, Danny noticed that the asteroids were not just obstacles, they were also weapons. He fired his ship's mining laser at a small asteroid, breaking it into pieces. The fragments flew toward the Corvin fighter like bullets, forcing the alien pilot to change course. While the Corvin ship was avoiding the debris, Danny came up from below and scored a direct hit. The second fighter was eliminated. "That's not possible," said a Valkyrie observer. "No pilot can calculate those trajectories in real time." "Humans can," replied Yolandra, who had been watching with growing amazement. The third battle was the most difficult. The Corvin pilot was their best, with years of experience and many victories. He used every trick he knew, but Danny seemed to anticipate each move. Danny's ship moved through the asteroid field like it was dancing. He used the rocks as shields, platforms, and weapons. When the Corvin pilot tried to trap him in a narrow canyon between two large asteroids, Danny fired his engines in reverse and came out shooting. The final Corvin fighter was destroyed within minutes. General Crickstar was silent for a long moment, bringing the human pilot aboard. "I want to speak with him." Danny Walsh was brought to the observation ship, where he faced the assembled alien officials. He was young and confident, with the easy smile of someone who loved challenges. "How did you do that?" asked General Crickstar. "Do what?" Danny replied. "You used the asteroid field like it was part of your ship? You made it work for you instead of against you." Danny shrugged. "That's just how humans think. We don't see obstacles. We see opportunities." The ground combat test was next. Ryan Brooks led a team of 3 humans against a squad of Corvin shock troops. The aliens expected the humans to fight with honor and follow established rules of warfare. Instead, the humans disappeared into the artificial terrain and began using guerrilla tactics. They struck from unexpected angles, used the environment to their advantage, and worked together in ways that confused their opponents. "They're not fighting fair," complained one of the Corvin soldiers. "They're fighting smart," observed Yolandra. The most shocking moment came when Pete Rodriguez somehow reprogrammed one of the Federation's combat drones during the battle. The machine, which was supposed to be helping the Corvin, suddenly turned and began attacking them instead. "That's impossible," said Threx Hivemind Node 12. "Our technology has safeguards against such interference." "Apparently not good enough," replied Pete Rodriguez with a grin. The trials ended with human victory in every category. But more than winning, the humans had demonstrated something that worried the Federation leaders. They didn't just fight. They adapted, they learned, they turned every challenge into an opportunity for innovation. General Crickstar stood before the assembled officials. "I have seen enough. These humans are not just another species seeking to join us. They are something entirely different." "Are they a threat?" asked Council Speaker Zarathal. "They are the most dangerous thing I have ever encountered," Crickstar replied. "They are dangerous because they make everything around them better. They force us to grow, to change, to become more than we were." The Federation officials looked at each other with new understanding. The arrival of humans would change everything. The emergency council meeting had been going on for 6 hours. The great chamber aboard Harmony's Rest was filled with tension as representatives from all 4 Federation species argued about what to do with the humans. The combat trials had ended 3 days ago, but the debate was far from over. General Crickstar paced back and forth in front of the central podium. His red armor made scraping sounds with each step. "I have fought in 100 battles," he declared. "I have seen every kind of warrior in the galaxy. But these humans are different. They don't just fight to win, they fight to learn." Science Director Yulfek stood up from his seat. "The Valkyrie have completed our analysis of human capabilities. The results are disturbing. These beings show intelligence levels that exceed any single species in the Federation." "Explain," demanded Council Speaker Zarathal. Yulfek activated a holographic display that showed brain scans and test results. "Human neural activity is unlike anything we have recorded. They can process information from multiple sources simultaneously, while adapting their behavior in real time. Most remarkable is their ability to learn from failure and immediately apply new knowledge." Threx Hivemind Node 12 spoke through its mechanical voice box. "The collective has discovered something more significant. Our archaeological databases contain references to a species that matches human genetic markers." The chamber fell silent. Archaeological evidence was taken very seriously by all Federation species. It was the foundation of their shared history and cultural understanding, Node 12 continued. Ancient ruins on 7 different worlds show signs of a precursor species. The genetic traces we found match human DNA patterns almost perfectly. Are you saying these humans are related to the first builders? Asked Yolandra, her voice filled with amazement. The evidence strongly suggests this possibility, Node 12 replied. The first builders were the species mentioned in our oldest legends. They supposedly seeded the galaxy with life before disappearing without explanation. General Crickstar stopped pacing. If humans are descended from the first builders, then they have a claim to this galaxy that predates the Federation itself. The implications were staggering. The first builders were legendary figures in Federation mythology. They were said to be the creators of all intelligent life in the galaxy. If humans were their descendants, it would change everything about how the Federation understood its own history. Meanwhile, aboard the Liberty's Edge, Lisa Chung was working with Federation archaeologists to study ancient star charts. The humans had brought detailed maps of their exploration routes, and these maps contained surprising information. Look at this, Lisa said to Dr. Vethmer, a Valkyrie archaeologist. Our star charts show the locations of 17 worlds that your people have never found. And according to our data, these worlds have artificial structures on them. Dr. Vethmer examined the human charts carefully. These coordinates are in regions we consider empty space. Our sensors have never detected anything there. Maybe your sensors aren't looking for the right things, suggested Pete Rodriguez, who had joined the conversation. Human technology works differently than yours. We might be able to find things you've missed. Amy Clark had been monitoring Federation communications channels. She had learned enough of their language to understand basic conversations. Captain, she called to Jake Morrison, I think we're causing some kind of crisis. The aliens are having heated arguments about us. Jake joined her at the communications station. What kind of arguments? From what I can understand, they're debating whether we're a threat or a gift. Some of them want to attack us, while others think we might be related to their ancient gods. Ancient gods? Jake raised an eyebrow. Something called the First Builders. They seem to think we might be connected to them somehow. Ryan Brooks had been listening to the conversation. Should we be worried about this? I don't know, Jake admitted, but I think we need to be ready for anything. Back in the council chamber, the debate was reaching a critical point. Council Speaker Zarethel called for order as the various species representatives continued their arguments. The question before us is simple, she announced. Are the humans a threat to be eliminated, or are they potential allies to be welcomed? General Crickstar stepped forward. I have seen what they can do in battle. They could destroy any of our fleets if they chose to. But here's what concerns me most. They don't seem to want to. What do you mean? Asked Yulfek. Every weapon they showed us was defensive. Every tactic they used was designed to disable rather than destroy. They fight like people who want to protect, not conquer. Yolandra nodded in agreement. I have spent time with them. They ask questions about our culture, our history, our problems. They seem genuinely interested in learning from us. But that could be deception, argued a Corvin military advisor. They might be studying us to find our weaknesses. Or, said Threx Hivemind Node 12, they might be studying us to find ways to help. The debate continued for hours. Some Federation members feared human power and wanted to act before the humans could bring more ships. Others were fascinated by human abilities and wanted to learn from them. Finally, Council Speaker Zarethel made a decision that would change galactic history. I am calling for a direct meeting with the human captain. We will ask him to address the council personally. 2 hours later, Captain Jake Morrison stood before the assembled Federation leadership. The chamber was enormous, with seats arranged in a circle around a central platform. Hundreds of alien eyes watched him as he prepared to speak. Honored representatives, Jake began, I want to thank you for this opportunity to address your council. I know our arrival has caused concern, and I hope to answer your questions honestly. General Crickstar was the first to speak. Captain Morrison, Your people have demonstrated remarkable military abilities. What are your intentions toward the Federation? Jake looked directly at the Corvin general. Our intentions are peaceful. We came to explore, to learn, and to make friends. We have no desire to conquer or control anyone. But you have the power to do so, observed Yulthek. Your technology is more advanced than ours in many ways. Having power and using it are different things, Jake replied. My people learned long ago that true strength comes from helping others become stronger, not from dominating them. Council Speaker Zarathul leaned forward. What do you want from the Federation? Jake smiled. Knowledge, friendship, the chance to learn from species that have been exploring the galaxy for centuries. We want to share what we know and learn. What you know, and if we refuse? Asked General Crickstar. Then we will respect your decision and continue our exploration elsewhere. We will not force our friendship on anyone. The honesty in Jake's voice was unmistakable. Even the most suspicious Federation members could see that he was telling the truth, Threk's hive mind. Node 12 spoke up. Captain Morrison, are you aware that your species may be related to the legendary First Builders? Jake looked confused. I'm not familiar with that term. Who were the First Builders? According to our oldest legends, they were the species that created all intelligent life in the galaxy before disappearing mysteriously. That's an interesting story, Jake said, but I can't confirm or deny it. Human history only goes back a few thousand years. We have no records of our species being anywhere but Earth. The Federation Council members looked at each other with growing understanding. The humans were not trying to claim some ancient right to rule the galaxy. They were simply explorers who wanted to make friends among the stars. Council Speaker Zarethel stood up. Captain Morrison, the Federation Council will now deliberate on your request. We will have an answer for you within 24 hours. As Jake left the chamber, he knew that the next day would determine the future of human-alien relations. The Federation had a choice to make, and that choice would echo through the galaxy for generations to come. The 24 hours felt like a lifetime to the crew of the Liberty's Edge. Captain Jake Morrison sat in his quarters, staring out at the stars and wondering what decision the Federation Council would make. His crew was nervous but hopeful. They had done everything they could to show that humans came in peace. In the Great Council Chamber, the debate had continued through the night. Representatives from all four species had argued, pleaded, and reasoned with each other. The decision they were about to make would change the galaxy forever. Council Speaker Zarathul stood at the center of the chamber, looking tired but determined. After careful consideration and much debate, the Federation Council has reached a decision regarding the humans. The chamber fell silent. Even the usual background hum of the space station seemed to quiet down, as if the entire universe was waiting to hear what would happen next. The humans will be invited to join the Galactic Federation as equal partners, Zarathul announced. They will have the same rights and responsibilities as any other member species. General Crickstar stood up from his seat. I want it recorded that I supported this decision. The humans have proven they are warriors of honor. They will make the Federation stronger. Science Director Yulthek nodded in agreement. The Valkyrie believe that human knowledge and creativity will benefit all species. We look forward to learning from them. Threk's Hivemind Node 12 spoke through its mechanical voice. The collective agrees. Human adaptability will help the Federation face future challenges more effectively. The decision was not without controversy. Some Federation members had voted against allowing humans to join, fearing their rapid development and military capabilities. But the majority recognized that excluding humans would be both dangerous and wasteful. Jake Morrison received the news with quiet satisfaction. Thank you for this opportunity, he told Council Speaker Zarathul over the communication link. Humanity will work hard to prove worthy of your trust. The integration process began immediately. The Federation had protocols for adding new species, but they had never dealt with a species quite like humans. Everything had to be adapted to account for human uniqueness. Pete Rodriguez was assigned to work with Threk's engineering teams to improve Federation infrastructure. Within weeks, He had introduced new construction techniques that made buildings stronger and more efficient. The Threks were amazed by human engineering creativity. "Your people think about problems differently," observed Threks Engineer Unit 23. "You see possibilities where we see limitations." Pete smiled as he adjusted the plans for a new space station. "That's just how humans are. We don't accept that something can't be done. We just figure out how to do it better." Amy Clark was working with Solani diplomats to establish new communication protocols. Her ability to understand alien languages and customs quickly made her invaluable to Federation negotiations. "The humans have a gift for seeing common ground," Diplomat Calvara told her colleagues. "They find ways to make different species work together more effectively." Amy was helping to resolve a trade dispute between two Federation worlds. "Both sides want the same thing," she explained to the negotiators. "They just have different ways of expressing it. If we focus on shared goals instead of different methods, we can find a solution." Ryan Brooks was working with Corvin military leaders to develop new defensive strategies. His knowledge of human tactics was revolutionizing Federation security planning. "Your asymmetric warfare concepts are fascinating," admitted General Crickstar. "We have been thinking about combat in outdated ways." Ryan demonstrated new training techniques to a group of Corvin soldiers. "The key is adaptability. Don't just follow a plan. Be ready to change the plan when the situation changes." Lisa Chang was leading joint exploration missions with teams from all Federation species. Her navigation skills and human intuition were opening up new regions of space for exploration. "The humans find paths through space that our computers say are impossible," reported Valkyrie navigator Yolkem. "They combine mathematical precision with creative thinking in ways we never considered." Lisa stood on the bridge of a Federation exploration ship, studying star charts with alien crew members. "There's a passage through this nebula that the sensors can't detect. But if we adjust our approach angle by 15 degrees, we should be able to navigate through safely." Captain Jake Morrison was adapting to his new role as the first human member of the Federation Council. His presence had changed how the Council operated, encouraging more open discussion and creative problem-solving. "Before the humans arrived, we followed established procedures," observed Council Speaker Zarathil. "Now, we question whether those procedures are the best way to handle each situation." Jake was reviewing proposals for new Federation policies. "We need to be flexible," he told his fellow council members. "The galaxy is always changing. Our responses need to change too." The most remarkable changes were happening on the colony worlds where humans and aliens lived together. Children from different species played together, learning from each other and developing friendships that would last for generations. On the colony world of New Harmony, human children were teaching alien friends how to play baseball while learning alien games in return. The sight of young beings from different species working together gave everyone hope for the future. "The children don't see differences," observed Zalani teacher Morthia. "They see friends and opportunities to learn new things." Danny Walsh, the human pilot who had impressed everyone during the combat trials, was now training Federation pilots in advanced flying techniques. His students came from all 4 species and they were learning to think like humans in combat situations. "Don't just fly the ship," Danny told his students. "Make the ship part of yourself. Feel what it can do and push it to do more." The Federation military was becoming more effective because they had learned to combine traditional alien tactics with human creativity and adaptability. As months passed, it became clear that the arrival of humans had transformed the Federation in ways nobody had expected. The aliens had gained not just new allies, but new ways of thinking about old problems. The Valkyrie were learning that intelligence meant more than just logical thinking. The Corvin discovered that true strength came from protecting others, not dominating them. The Zalani found that the best diplomacy involved understanding different perspectives. The Threks realized that the most efficient systems were those that could adapt and grow. 1 year after first contact, Council Speaker Zarethel addressed the Federation Assembly. "The arrival of humans has reminded us that the galaxy is full of possibilities. We must never stop growing, learning, and reaching for something better. Captain Jake Morrison stood beside her, representing not just humanity but the spirit of exploration and cooperation that had brought the species together. The universe is vast and full of wonders, he said. Together we can discover them all. The Liberty's Edge now traveled through Federation space with a mixed crew of humans and aliens. They explored new worlds, made new discoveries, and solved problems that would have been impossible for any single species to handle alone. As they looked out at the stars, the crew knew they were part of something bigger than themselves. The arrival of humans had changed the galaxy forever, but it was just the beginning of a new chapter in the story of intelligent life among the stars. The future was bright, filled with infinite possibilities for growth, discovery, and friendship. And at the heart of it all was the simple truth that differences in species, culture, and thinking were not obstacles to overcome, but strengths to celebrate and share. The galaxy had never been more alive with potential, and the arrival of humans had shown everyone that the best adventures were still ahead of them.